Gail, and thank you. Now I'm looking at this, Gail, right now is saying that my
Nola,
share.
I'm having a little difficulty hearing you. I don't know if anyone else is or not. I heard you
Can you
earlier.
can you hear me?
Aisha, can you hear her okay?
Yes, I can hear her.
Okay, good. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Uh, Okay, I am having difficulty when I go to share my presentation. It's saying the host disabled sharing. So would you like me to send that your way? How would you like me to do that for my presentation? Can you hear me, Miss Gail?
Yes, I can hear you very, very well now. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
unable to share my presentation where everyone can
Oh,
see.
oh, one moment. Harim or Aisha, Barak, can you give her permission to share the screen, please?
I'm not the host. I think Miss Gail, you're the host right now.
Uh-oh. All right, one moment. I'm on my phone. Okay, just 1 second.
And while Miss Gail is going through that, I would love just to take a moment where you can just introduce yourself. First, let me start. My name is Nola Bland. I work for NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been here for 37 years. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm the Chief Learning Officer here at NASA. And what is a Chief Learning Officer? I'm focused in bringing learning and development to our workforce. Here at my specific center, I have over 3,700 employees. So I ensure that we deliver training, organizational development through assessments, team building, or training courses for the workforce. So please take a moment, and if you can introduce yourself. It's informal. Please just come off mic, and I would love to hear from you.
Um, no, I just made Barak the host. So Barak, you can
Okay.
screen sharing, okay, since I'm in
Okay.
my
Sure, just a minute.
Okay. So while Barack is doing that, Aisha, did I say that name
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it's correct. I am Aisha Tahirawan, and I am the core team member from Girls Fly Pakistan team. And my education includes I am a recent graduate of computer science from Islamic University Islamabad, and also I am working as a professional game developer for a year now. And apart from a formal education, my activities include like community work and empowering women and youth. And yeah, this is all about me.
My pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Um, Harim, did I pronounce that right? I'll try to see if I can share now, and I can share. So this is good.
Recording in progress.
Please let me know if you can see my slides.
Yes, Miss Nola, we can see it.
Okay, so so some of you may have gotten out of introducing yourself. I like to connect with others, and you'll see why, because I'll share my Myers-Briggs type. But I always love to make a connection. as we go, but we will do that throughout the day. So I didn't see how many we have. Can Ms. Gail, can you share or anyone tell me how many? I can no longer see you because I'm presenting. How many do we have online?
Miss Nola, so right now, including you and me, there are 18 people on the call right now.
18?
Yes, 18.
Okay. So I'm not sure how many have gone through. Out of the 18, um, can you let me know if you have not heard of the Myers-Briggs type indicator called MBTI? Again, cannot see you, so if you can just come off the mic to give me a pulse of how many have not,
I
or a
think
raise
we
of
can
hand.
give everybody a minute. So those who haven't been through the Myers-Briggs or don't know about it, can you guys raise your hands so I can count it and tell it to Miss Nola?
And as we get that survey, thank you for facilitating that. Let's get started. Um, Through this session, and I will be coming to you today for an hour, and then I'll be back. And I'm looking forward to that. We'll review so you have an understanding of personality types and the Myers Briggs framework. We'll develop a greater self awareness and awareness of others because it's just not knowing yourself. It's how can you use that knowledge and that awareness where you can understand how others, the another person's type, so we can foster teamwork, collaboration, and trust. Really, that's the goal of this assessment. And it's also to identify ways to use that personality constructively to improve those personal interactions in team performance. So let's introduce MBTI. A little background. The origin of the MBTI assessment was based on a Swiss psychiatrist, C.G. And sorry for my voice, my allergies are acting up, but C.G. Jung, um, and that his theory of this psychological type. It was enhanced by a mother-daughter team, Catherine Briggs and Isabel Briggs, and that's where the Myers-Briggs come from. And so it became available in about 1975 to qualify people for non-research. So I use this tool to help people understand their type and how they can work well together, not to psychoanalyze, to label, but just to see who you are, who we are, and how we can work better together. It's worldwide and it's used for self assessments again for leadership, which, as you're building all of these tools, the knowledge coming together as girls fly it's that team building to prepare you for leadership, to prepare you for just the next project, to prepare you for life. So a little bit further, personality and the behavior. Um, Personality is considered innate ways we think, and feel and act. It's inborn characteristic, and it's usually the core of who we are. That's our personality. Our behavior is something that's observable, acts, and it's the result of a complex mix of factors. And we behave maybe for something we see, we hear, we feel, we act, and it's something that's observable. Jung's theory of that personality type, Jung also observed that we live in two worlds. We live in an outer world and an inner world. And I'm going to pause because, again, I'm going to let you know I cannot see you. So if you have any questions, please stop. And facilitators on your end will open the mic and let me know. Young observed Again, he saw things in two worlds, the outer and the inner. The outer world of people, things, activities, the inner world of ideas, thoughts, and observations. Everyone has a preference for one of those two and are energized from either the outer world or the inner world. Um, and what Jung's theory and framework is based on is nature versus nurture. Nature is MBTI's framework. Again, they feel like it's an innate trait. It's nothing we're taught, although as we grow, we learn, whether it's through education, geographical locations, economical, we do. There's things that will mold us. But what Jung's theory is innate. We're born with it versus the environment around us. So, as again, I cannot see you, but I would like for you to do this activity. Hopefully, you all have a pen and paper near. If you don't, I'll give you 10 seconds to get a piece of paper and a pen in hand. Please come off mic and let me know if you do not have a pen or paper. Okay, so I assume everyone has a piece of paper and a pen. I just want you to write your signature on that piece of paper. Just write your signature on that piece of paper as you would do if you're signing something. Does anyone need more time? And again, I will yield to Miss Gail or the facilitator, and I forget your name again, I'm sorry, to let me know if anyone needs more time to write their signature.
No, I
So
think
now,
everybody's done. We can go ahead.
okay, so now I need you, Girls Fly, to come off mic and let me know how was that? How did it feel when you wrote your signature? You can just use, one word. How did it feel? Easy? Hard?
There's somebody who's raised their hand, so I'd ask them to go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Musfira, go ahead.
Yeah, I raise my hand. So, yeah, I think when you write your signature on anything, you feel empowered. You feel like you're doing something really important. That's what I felt.
Okay. Was it easy to write your
Yeah,
signature?
writing down. Yes, it was pretty easy.
Fluid? Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Coming off mic. Anyone else?
I'm going to agree with Musfira's idea. I think when I wrote my signature, I'm doing it on a Word document, so I didn't sign it, but I did write my name, and it felt a sort of association. I thought it brought an idea that wherever I put my name, I am committed to that, and that it's something that's associated to me.
Okay. Now I'm gonna let you know. Usually that is not the response, but I'm empowered to hear that response because we should feel empowered. Our name is important in writing it, seeing it in writing. Now, I do ask if you can have access to a pen or a paper because this will drive home the exercise. But I wrote that down because it is empowering when we do see our name or write our name or we're writing something. Now, I would like you to put your pen or your pencil or your writing utensil in your opposite hand and write your signature. Again, change hands and write your signature. Okay, anybody need more time? Please raise your hand. No one needs more time. I would like you to come off mic. Need to hear from you. This is an interactive presentation. So tell me, how did that feel using the opposite hand?
It was super difficult.
Can I
That
can I
and
say
also,
something?
Can you repeat what you just said? I heard two people talking, so I want to hear from both of you. But first person,
I was just
Yes.
saying that
Musfira, you can go ahead, and then Aisha, you
yeah,
can follow.
No, Aisha, you finish it first, and I'll go.
I was saying like it was difficult for me to write, and also like my hands were shaking, like as I'm not used to of like opposite hand.
hmm thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Yes. From writing to the left hand, I felt kind of helpless. I'm not used to of using this hand, so I had to put a little bit of effort, and the result was not really good because even if I tried to write a good signature, I couldn't.
Okay. Now, were you able though to write your signature?
Not really nicely. I was able to, but it was not that good.
Thank you. Then you just said, thank you for sharing. Anyone else who had
Yeah,
us opposite?
I think I felt kind of, when I wrote it with my right hand, it was kind of association with me. But when I wrote it with my left hand, I felt disconnected with,
Mm-mm,
my own name.
hmm Thank you. And those are the feelings, experiences when I do this exercise. When we write it with our dominant hand, when I said, I didn't say pick up your pencil with your right hand or your left hand. I just said write your signature. Our mind automatically goes to our dominant hand. Then when I said switch hands, now this is not the dominant, and what I heard difficult. Hand was shaking, felt helpless, little more effort, um, a little disconnected. But what I also heard was you were able to do it. It didn't look as pretty as we did it with our dominant hand, but we did it. And with anything with time, doing it over and over again, if I'm a I'm right-handed. If I broke my right hand and had to use my left hand for 30 days, my signature would look just the same as I was if I was using my dominant, my preferred. We all have preferences. So, real quick, just where you're sitting, cross your arms. Just let's cross our arms. How did that feel? Hold that thought. Hold that answer. Now I want you to switch. Look the way you had crossed your hand. Whatever hand is going down, cross it the other way. Now, how did that feel? Anyone?
Uh, at first, when I did it, it was like it wasn't a problem for me. But when you said it to do it the other way by crossing my hands, by putting the other one, the opposite one, I couldn't actually do it properly. So yeah, it was kind of difficult for me.
Me too. Me too. Anyone else? I had the same experience. Um, again, I can't see these beautiful faces, but thank you for just coming off mic. Like I said, You know, I just wanted open flowing communication because that is correct. We all have preferences. We tend to do without thinking just what we use our dominant, it's a dominant way we do it. But if you ask me to switch, literally, I too, it was difficult. Had to look down. Okay, which hand is up? Now I got to put that hand down, this hand. So we have to put a little more thought. I could do it, but I had to look, I had to pause, and I had to execute. And so, what this is just driving home is we all have preferences. We all have a way we do things, but there's always an opposite way. We may not use that opposite, but there are opposites that we can use. So, for Myers Briggs, their theory is we will look at the four pairs of opposites. They're called dichotomies. We will use both sides of the pair. One side is will be natural for you. The other side will take a little more effort. And Young believes that um, our preferences do not change. We just have to put more effort in how we execute it. So um, let's go into Myers Briggs. Myers Briggs assessment is an indicator, it's not a test. I have not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the dichotomies, and then we'll together, um, I'll have you choose which one you resonate with. There's no right or wrong way, it's just your preference. We all have preferences, just like crossing, picking up that pencil or that pen. There's no wrong way if you're left-handed or right-handed. It's just how it is. The key is knowing that there's other ways of doing things and the beauty of allowing others to do it differently and knowing that that's just their preference. So let's look. In Myers Briggs, we have four dichotomies: extroversion, introversion, sensing and intuition, thinking and feeling, judging and perceiving. Can can you all still see my screen?
Miss Nola, we can see your screen, but it's the same slide. So yeah, it just changed right now.
It's the same slide.
Yeah, but it just changed now.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, thank you. So something happened on my end, so give me 1 second. I'm just going to, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
You can. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. Now, what are you seeing are you still seeing the Myers-Briggs slides?
I'm able to see the preference pairs.
Okay, now, okay, so you should be seeing self-assessment. Can you see this, the E and the I?
Yes, but it's on the same slide.
I know that's correct, E and I. You should see opposite ways to direct energy. Do you see that slide?
No, ma'am. Just press the F5 button.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, sure. All set, ma'am.
Okay, just want to make you know we work through. I just want to make sure you can see where I'm at. So we're talking opposite ways to direct energy. And do you see the slide I'm on? This says E or I.
Yes, we're
Yes,
on the
sure.
screen.
Okay, so let's go here. Let's dive in. This is the first dichotomy. Like I said, there's four. By the time we finish each dichotomy, I'm going to ask you which one do you resonate with, the E or the I? It's a self assessment. Only you can, I mean, you'll answer it. I'm not here to validate it or challenge it. So, a person with the E. E is the way we take in energy. A person with the E, they prefer to direct their energy and attention outwardly. A person. Have you heard the word extrovert and introvert? That's what it's talking about. An extrovert directs their energy and attention outwardly. An introvert directs their energy inwardly. An extrovert focus on the outside world. They like to be around people and activities and fun, things like that. Where introvert, they focus their attention inward on ideas, experiences, thoughts, reflection. How people direct and receive their energy in this dichotomy, an extrovert, and I'm just going to go down the extrovert column first. The extroverts are energized by interacting with others. They are sociable, expressive. They prefer to communicate by talking, and they work through ideas by talking through them. Where introvert, the opposite. They are energized by opportunity to reflect that thought. They are private and contained and they prefer to communicate in writing. They don't like talking. They writing is fine, shooting an email, IM, something like that. That's their preference. And they work with ideas by reflecting on them. Two opposites. Can you see how this can drive someone crazy? This opposite in this dichotomy? And I'll let you know, I'm an extrovert. I love the interaction with people. And through my experience, I had to learn that I can drive that introvert crazy because really they may not tell me to shut up, but they're feeling, can you please be quiet? Or let me think about it for a minute before, and I'm going on to the next topic. So it's important to understand the differences because if you are, or if you resonate with an introvert, and you're dealing with the extrovert, you need to understand they just want to think about it. They don't want to talk about it. You know, they don't want to be about around those big social groups. They're fine one on one with just a few friends, where the extrovert wants to be the life of the party. So they're different. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just different. Same with the writing, when you wrote your signature or when you crossed your arms, you have a preference. Extroverts, they have broad interests. They like many things. Where introvert, they like to focus on the depth of something and have few interests. Extrovert, they learn best by doing or discussing. Let's talk through it. Let's just get in a room and chat about it. Where introvert, they want to learn by reflection, that mental practice. Extrovert, they're readily they take initiatives on work and relationships. Where that introvert, they take initiatives selectively. They'll select one or two people I want to, work with or engage with. It's not that we don't like them. It's just, it's too much energy. It's draining the energy. And I want to say this, y- whether you're an introvert or extrovert, you can do it either. You can do both. It's just where we get our energy from. If we have an introvert stand up and have to give a keynote address or speak to a classroom or do a presentation, they can do it. But at the end of the day, they're going to be tired. They're going to be, they just want to go home, put their feet up, and relax. Where extrovert, they can do that presentation and then be ready to go for coffee or dinner with the girlfriends or with your friends, the guy friends, whatever it is. It's just where our energy come from. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different. So what this is, this last list here is showing extrovert and introvert. I'm not going to read everyone because every one of these on the list because you can see it. But one thing I do want to bring your attention to is the differences. Uh, Extrovert, they do, they think, and then they do. And I say this because I'm a strong extrovert. Sometimes it'll come out my mouth, and I have to stop and think. How did I say it? How did it land? Was that, you know, how I wanted it said? Where an introvert, they're thinking about it. And when they do speak, they're going to speak because they put some thought into it. Then they'll think about it some more. Not right or wrong, it's just different. And then there's other things on this list. Again, not right or wrong. It's just how these two preferences are different. Um, um, People versus private, many versus few. So what I need you to do now, using a pencil, because you're going to do this 4 times. Which one do do you relate to? More of the introversion or extroversion? Given a choice, which would you prefer? So on your piece of paper, you should have one letter on there, either a E or an I. I'm going to go back to the list if in case you need to look at the list. Which one do you resonate with? Okay, so let's just talk through this exercise. This is another thing you're going to have to come off mic and share. So, how would you introduce yourself at a social? N- Not in school, not at work, party or event. Imagine that there was about 50 people there. You know the host and maybe 5 other people. How would you introduce yourself? Think about this other question. How many people would you interact with during this event or party? And when will you leave? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds just to think about that. How would you introduce yourself? Who would you interact with? And when would you leave? Please come off mic. Let me hear from you. Anyone? Go ahead.
So if it's a non-work party where I have no purpose of work or anything like that, it's just a social event, I'm not a person who would feel comfortable there. Even if I know 5 people out of 50, I would still not be very comfortable around. And the second question is that uh, how many people do you interact with during the party? I don't think I will interact with anyone except someone if I knew or if someone I was really close to. Otherwise, I would stay quiet or maybe I would leave the party as soon as possible.
Okay. I love it. I love it. And which one did you resonate with, the E or the I?
I definitely resonate with that. I think an
Yes.
introvert.
Yes, I can hear it. I can hear it. Again, it's not right, it's not wrong. It's just knowing who we are and 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 then hearing others. So, someone else, come on off the mic. Let me hear. How would you introduce yourself? How would you interact? And when would you leave?
I think the most difficult part for me was to identify what I would tell somebody about myself other than my work. So I had to think about it. I think I would tell them that I would tell them my interest, my academic interest, and I would tell them that I really like reading and analyzing and writing stuff. At the same time, I like to be around people. How many people I would interact with? I think I would be have to be very honest. I think I would probably say not more than 15, being very, very honest. Because
Mhm.
even though I enjoy people's company and I like to see different personality types, I also think I'm private in myself. And when I would leave, I think anywhere from after 20 to 30 minutes, that would be good enough for me.
Awesome. And which one do you resonate with? Because
So I think I'm somewhere in the middle, but at the same time, if I had to choose one and I see which one I incline more with, I would go with the I.
okay. And you make what's your name?
My name is Barak.
Barack. Thank you for sharing that because as you were speaking, that's exactly where I was going with that. Because you said, hey, I would introduce myself, my academic interests. You know, I like analyzing stuff. I like to be around people. All of that is extroverted. You know, the people. You didn't say you couldn't introduce yourself. You were saying how you would introduce yourself. So that was definitely a E tendency. But then you said, about 15 people. I started seeing more of that introvert and 20 to 30 minutes leaving more introverted. You know, I'll come, I'll say my hellos, and then I'm leaving. And so you resonate with the I. So my point of that is again, nothing's right or wrong. It just is. And we have some people who are in the middle where I'm a I, but I can do some of the introverted stuff and hop right back in to my uh I mean, do some extroverted stuff and hop right back into my introverted tendencies because that's how it is. What just changing your hand, writing your name, and then putting that pencil right back in your right hand. We do that all the time. So what I just heard from Barack was, um, although she's resonating with the introvert, she can do that extroverted. Meet a few people, more than 5. She's going to go with 15, but then she's going to bow out gracefully. Let me share something with me. As I mentioned, I'm a strong I mean, strong extrovert. I'm an extrovert to the 10th power. My husband is an introvert. So when I watch how it plays out, so in this scenario, you know, the conversation would be, "Okay, Nola, we're gonna go to this event. You know, I don't want to be here all day." And I would say, "Yes, we can go. You know, I won't stay long. Okay, can we leave around 11 o'clock?" And we have an agreement. I get into the party. I see 50 people. Me being an extrovert, I want to introduce myself to pretty much everyone. If I don't know you, I will know you, and that's the type of person I am. So I get around halfway around the room. It's 11 o'clock. I look over at my husband. He's looking at me like, we had an agreement. We were going to leave at 11. I put a finger up, say, give me, just here I come. I'm coming. But I'm only halfway through the room. And so by the time I finished introducing myself, now what did I do? I broke an agreement. I I know he was an introvert. I know I'm an extrovert, but we talked about it and we made an agreement. And this is the beauty of Myers-Briggs or knowing our types and knowing others' types. Because if we do know someone else's type, we have to talk. I know there's going to be a pretty nice size. When will we leave? And then we got to honor that. And that plays itself in the workplace, in the schoolhouse, everything we do. We have to communicate our preferences and understand others are different than us. And we We make agreements and we stick to our agreements because our word um, goes, our promise and commitment should go far. So, again, we all should resonate with one or the other. We had an exercise. Everyone should have one letter on their paper. Let's go to the next dichotomy. I know I have 15 minutes. I want to get to through two dichotomies and we'll do the other two when we get back. Come back together. So the next dichotomy is the S and the N. Sensing and intuition. S- is the way we take in information. The first one was energy. Now this is the way we take in information through our senses or our intuition, that gut feeling. So here, the differences are as I go and show you the characteristics of the two. For sensing, the S, um, they focus on present, the realities, the verifiable facts and experiences. While the intuitive person, they focus on future, the possibilities, a big picture, the insight. For example, if I put an apple in front of everyone and I say, "What do you see?" A sensing person will say, "I see something red or green, depending on the color. I see shiny, smooth skin. I see a stem. I may see a hole if a worm or whatever. I see whatever they see, they're going to say what they see. Where the intuitive person, their response may be something like, hmm, I see an apple. It reminds me of walking through an apple orchard. It reminds me of grandma's apple pie. It reminds me of climbing a tree and picking apples. So they're seeing the possibilities of what can be, how that apple can be used. Where a sensing person is just going to tell you what they see. A sensing person, they want to focus on what is real and actual, observe and remember specifics and trust their experience. A sensing person feel like if it's not broke, you're not gonna if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's working. Where the intuitive person, they want to focus on the patterns, the meanings, remembering specifics when they relate to that pattern or that apple orchard or that apple pie, whatever it may be. But they want to relate to that pattern and they want to trust that inspiration. That sensing person want to build carefully and thoroughly and understand ideals and theories through practical applications. Where that intuitive person, that in they want to move quickly to a conclusion and follow a hunch. It's that gut feeling, and they want to go this way because it's a gut feeling. They want to clarify ideas and theories before putting them into practice. But that intuitive, they, they want to break it. They want to break it and put it together. As Miss Sylvia mentioned at NASA, that's what we do. That future, that possibilities, the unknown. Let's see where we can go. And so um, again, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different the way we see things. Now, I can tell you I'm a S, I'm a strong S. I work in HR, human resources. That means I have to look at people's application. I have to make a judgment call on hiring or firing. I got to make a judgment call on learning and development. I got to look during an interview. I can't hire someone who's not qualified just because I like the blue suit. A person who's intuitive, they may, or and the next dichotomy, they're more fillers because they feel good. You made me feel good versus I got to look at what you bring to the table. Again, sensing intuitive, intuition with the end. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just different. It's our preference. So here's a list of words associated with the S and N dichotomy. Sensing deals with facts intuition, ideas, realistic or imaginative, what is versus what could be. Not right or wrong, it's just different. So, with your pencil in your hand or pen or crayon, whatever you're writing with, whatever that utensil may be, which one do you resonate with? Everyone has a preference. Is it either the sensing or the intuition? On your piece of paper, please write down your second letter. Either it will be a S or N. So everyone should have two letters on their paper. As I mentioned, everyone has a preference. Um, Usually I form a group right here. Um, and 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 people are working in their tables and having conversations. We're going to do this together. So again, I need everyone off mic, and I'm going to try to write down what I hear you say. So take a look at this picture right here. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. All right, let's come off mic. What did you see? I need to hear from you. Do you need to see it again? Are you still there?
Yeah, I think maybe we would need a little bit more time with the picture.
Okay. Take a look at the picture. I'll give you 15 seconds. Take a look at it. And all I'm going to ask you is, what do you see? Okay. What did you see?
Actually,
Anyone?
we yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, we see a lot of things, but there is no. I didn't see a specific story, but there is also show like candles, fish, butterflies, and a man. He wear a like cape, but I didn't understand the specific story. What the picture tell us?
You said you didn't understand the.
Yeah, I didn't understand the main thing. What's this? But I see a lot of picture in the one picture. There is many things like fish, butterflies,
Okay.
and many more.
Hmm. So you said the candle, the fish, the butterflies. Anyone
Yeah.
else? What did you see?
Uh, I saw I saw that there's this person. He doesn't seem like a good person. That's the smile that he had was not a nice smile. And I saw him that he looks like a control freak who's trying to control everything around him. The way there was, I saw the strings with the a girl and a boy, and the strings were in his hands. So the picture showed that he is trying to control everything around him. That's what I saw in the picture.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going to continue from that. I think because based on the proportionality of the picture, my focus was drawn more towards the man because he was the largest, but I saw a lot of diverse options that he had, and I agree with Musfira on the control that I could see him practicing, but at the same time, I saw obedience as well within the picture, and what I could also see was a, a different realities woven together into one. So that's what I saw.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Okay, so I think I agree with Misra and the rap both. I also focused for, a larger time on the man controlling the puppets or children, and it was more dominant towards negativity.
I couldn't hear you. I apologize. I couldn't hear you. What you said. Did you? I couldn't make out. I heard puppet, I think, but that's the only
Okay,
thing.
so can you hear me?
I can, yes. Can you
Am I
repeat it?
audible? Okay, sure. Okay, so I was saying that I agree with Barack and Misra that most of the time I was focusing on the man controlling the children, and most of my senses were towards the negativity, and
N-
that was which
Nick.
was the thing which was dominant.
Okay. You said the king.
Okay.
Okay.
Can
Thank
I
you.
say something?
Oh, yes, you may.
Okay, continuing to that, what others said, I think that man was referred to as a society or world. I
Society.
thought
Mhm.
so. Yes,
Or world.
yes, that
Mhm.
society was controlling them or something.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? For me, this really sparks a lot. And I'm sorry I only gave you 10, 15, 20 minutes to look at it. So now let's come back. Heard a lot of great stuff. I don't know if you know the nursery rhyme. Have anyone heard the nursery rhyme? Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Yes, I heard about it.
Okay, so for example, what I heard from you, a few sensing and a lot of intuition. Um, heard things like, "What is this? Person's not good. Control freak. Strings controlling the girls and the boys." Was it obedience or disobedience? I think I heard obedience.
Yes, it
Or
was obedience.
obedience, different realities flowing into one. Negativity. The king is dominant. Society and world, the controlling. This person is controlling. Then I heard things which more on the sensing side. I saw a candle, fish, butterflies, man, since he was the largest, objects, a puppet. So I heard some sensing and I heard some intuition. You already wrote your letter on your paper. So again, just it's not right, it's not wrong. The takeaway of this is when we see things, we can see the same picture and we can take out or get out from it what we need or what we see. We may see it different until we start having conversations. I heard a lot of, I agree with everything that was said. And also, we didn't try to judge, we didn't try to tear it down. I heard a lot of you adding on, agreeing. And saying, yes, and I also got this. So, the beauty of differences is or knowing ourselves and others is to know that we may see it differently. Now let's have a conversation. So yes, there's a nursery rhyme. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. First thing I saw, I'm very sensing, as I mentioned, what I see. A bee. Jack jumped over the flame. That came to my attention right away. Um, there were red letters in the words. I didn't know the why, but I saw red letters in the words. A lot of the intuitive people on the line, the one who falls in the intuition, they started creating that story, or obedience, control, negativity, dominate, society, world. So once again, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just how we see things. So for that dichotomy, either we resonate more with the sensing or we resonate more with the intuitive. You already put your letters on your papers, and what I will ask of you is when we come back, we're going to start off with the third dichotomy because we're building. By the time we finish, you're going to have four letters on your paper that will make up your Myers-Briggs preference, your estimated Myers-Briggs preference. We all have a preference. No one should tell us who we are. It's what we resonate with, what we, what's easier for us, what we gravitate to. So, um, for sensing and intuition, we describe what we see literally. Intuition, they interpret the picture and the possibilities. And I heard all of that. They make a story about the pictures. That's what I heard. A lot of intuition was going on. I wish I had the names to the comments, but uh, a lot of stories, the control, the society, the world, the dominance uh, versus the candles, the fish, the butterfly. It's not right or wrong. It's just how it is. What are the implications, though, from this activity? When we all look at the same image, we see different things. We must remember that we all trust our own perceptions and acknowledge that there's many ways of looking at things and coming to our own conclusion. I'm going to stop here because I'll get into the next dichotomy, which is the T and the F, the thinking and the feeling. And once again, I just want to pause. I'm going to stop sharing and come and I just want to just tag back up with you. I don't know. Did that come back on? Did I come on? Am I on camera?
Yes, you
Yes.
are. And Miss Gail,
Okay.
you're muted.
I can't see. I
Miss
can't
Gail,
see me.
yeah, I can see your beautiful smile, though. Thank you so much for being here and taking your lunch break to do it. We really appreciate it. You'll be back next week with part two.
Yes.
Okay, Noah, just before you go, explain to us, please, why this information is important in your day-to-day life and the work that you do in HR. I want them to leave with a sense of understanding that this can have personal benefit as well as professional benefit in their personal and professional development.
And thank you. Yes, it's important, one, to understand yourself and understand that we have differences. A lot of times we have conflicts is because we see it through our own lens. I really want us to start looking at it through others' lens. So the benefit is understanding ourselves and in our day to day our work as we work on project teams, our groups, our projects, or just going to work outside of our house every day or even inside of our house, because we'll talk about that. Because whether it's our siblings, our parents, our friends, we all are different. So we want to take those tools and really try to understand. I'll look at it a certain way sometimes, and I'm just using Miss Gale as an example. I need Miss Gale to look at it in a different way than me. If I'm looking at it just with the objects and she wants to help me with the possibilities, I need to have that conversation. I also had someone who told me I'm an introvert, but I have friends who are extrovert just to get me out my shell a little bit. So at work, as you navigate through your work, your personal, professional lives, we, it's good to have those differences just to challenge our assumptions because it's not right or wrong, it's just different. And sometimes we need to get a different perspective. So you can use that at work, at home, at play, but it's because we think different, and that's the beauty of diversity. When especially on this last exercise, I started getting off mic. I got excited. I'm an extrovert. I started getting excited because I think it was driving home the differences in what we saw, and because it's not right or wrong. I didn't even see a lot of the stuff you've seen, but I write it down because I'm like, wow, I see it now. And that's the beauty because I see it now. And if you didn't share it, we won't see it. And so the beauty is to share what you see, share what you know, because it'll help someone along the way. Thank you, Miss Sylvia.
Thank you so much for being here again, Ms. Nola Bland. We'll see you next week at noon. And if they have questions that come up, just make a note of them, please, and send them over to us at girlsflybook@gmail.com. Oh, actually, Barak, can you give them the official Pakistan email address, please? They can email their questions there and we can pass them on to Ms. Bland.
Yes,
And
sure.
or save them for next week. Okay, if you'll write it in the chat, that would be great. And you could say it out loud either way, okay? Thank you so much, Nola. All right.
Thank
I
you.
do have a question
Bye.
to talk to you about, and I'm saving it for next week. Okay.
Okay.
Bye,
Okay. I can't wait. I
everybody.
can't wait.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
y'all.
Goodbye.
Recording stopped.